Welcome to Great Chefs, a culinary tour of the United States, featuring some of the country's finest chefs.
Daniel Scardato serves the first-course salad from Tucson. It's a simple reflection of his Italian roots, arugula dressed with olive oil and balsamic vinegar with prosciutto. Then from Aventura, Florida, Todd Weiss presents filet of roasted wild striped bass atop mashed potatoes that contain pieces of lobster, sliced scallions, and creme fraiche. Thaddeus Dubois serves dessert in Biloxi, Mississippi. Beneath the meringue top are banana pieces, ganache, and pastry cream, set in a small Phyllo cup. The executive pastry chef at the Big Beau Rivage Hotel and Casino in Biloxi is Thaddeus Dubois. He supervises 25 full-time employees, including 2 assistant pastry chefs and 18 bakers. The 1,800-room property contains 8 restaurants. No doubt they offer this, banana and chocolate tart.
Okay, today I'm going to make a banana and chocolate tart, and the base of it is a Phyllo cup, okay? We're going to work with Phyllo, and Phyllo is a very, very thin pastry. It's important that you keep it well covered, okay? And I usually dress it with plastic wrap and then a dampened cloth, okay? Dries out very quickly otherwise. I think that's good. Okay, I have some melted butter here. Just going to brush the sheet with some of the melted butter. Okay, I like to sprinkle it with a little bit of cinnamon and sugar. For this recipe, we're going to do 3 sheets. On top of each other, put the second one down, press it down, and then put your butter on there. Okay, we're going to do an oval shape on this, and I have an oval cutter here, okay? I'm going to put the oval cutter right in there, and it's hard to get it to cut through Phyllo. So I have a little knife here. I'm just going to run it around the edge of the cutter. Okay. And we've got our... Okay, I have these little tart dishes here. Okay, I have them on a half-sheet pan. I just stick that in there. Press it down a little bit, and I like to weight it down a little bit because it tends to bubble up when it bakes. Okay, so I have a second tart, and I'll just stick it on there. Okay, bake it for a few minutes. It doesn't take long for Phyllo. Then it'll brown on the edge. You need to take this cup off so it'll brown in the center. Okay, then when you take it out of the oven, just press it for a second, let it cool, and then pop it out. Okay. The second recipe is ganache, and ganache is simply, in pastry terms, chocolate and cream. And there can be additions, and in this there is a couple additions. I put a little corn syrup in it and a little butter. That tends to make the product a little more creamy and a little more refined on the tongue. Okay, I have the chocolate in a bowl. The cream always goes over the chocolate, and you stir it until the chocolate is melted. Okay, and that's a very basic classical method.
The butter and corn syrup are added.
As you can see, the cream is at the scalding point. It's just starting to boil here. Okay. I'm going to shut the flame off and just put it all in there. The heat of the chocolate will melt the, the heat of the cream will melt the chocolate and the butter. Once this is mixed thoroughly and the ingredients combined, you need to let it sit. And it will thicken up as it sits. You can chill it overnight if you want, or chill it for a couple hours. I usually just let it sit at room temperature. I don't want it to get too cold. When you put this dessert together, you'll see why. Okay, for the meringue, I'm going to make a Swiss meringue, and there's 3 types of meringue. I'm just going to go over this one. And meringues are always 1 part egg whites and 2 parts sugar. And it doesn't matter which meringue you're making, so the ingredients are easy to remember. A Swiss meringue, you put the 2 items together, and you heat them over a hot water bath. heat them to about 120 degrees Fahrenheit, and you want the sugar completely dissolved. And I usually stick my fingers in there, and I'll test it, and you can feel the grit of the sugar. Okay, so you want to make sure there's no grit there, and the sugar is completely dissolved. It takes a few minutes, and you want to keep it whisked well so the egg whites don't cook on the sides of the bowl.
This is a departure from the more common Italian meringue, where the sugar is melted in water, then poured into the egg whites as they are beaten. The chef describes Swiss meringue as a midpoint between Italian and regular.
Stick my fingers in, and it feels very silky. Okay, there's no sugar. Okay, there's no grit there. Okay, so we're done. Shut the flame off. Bring the bowl out. Set it on a towel to dry the bottom of the bowl there. Okay. And we're going to put it on the mixer. It's going to take a good 5 minutes or so to beat up, okay? Do it on high speed.
The sauce is orange caramel with Grand Marnier.
I'm going to shut the flame off this, and I always do it off the stove, okay? Dangerous. Maybe you can see that better there. Okay, I always use a wooden spoon. Be careful of the evaporation there, condensation, okay?
The orange juice was warmed before adding.
If you're doing a small amount of sauce, this size of pan is fine. If you're making a lot, you really need to use a bigger pan or it's going to boil over. Okay, and then the final touch to this sauce is the Grand Marnier. It's very, very hot. It needs to cool down for probably about an hour before you can put it on the plate. All right, for presentation, I have the Phyllo cup here. I'm going to pipe some of the ganache into it. Don't be shy with the banana. It is banana-flavored dessert. And I have a little bit of the cream.
This is a standard pastry cream.
Okay. You can put a couple more pieces of banana. And then the meringue. And I have a tip here, which is the St. Hornet tip, and it makes a really nice design. We're just going to cover the top of it with this. I'm going to put a little bit of the ganache in the center of the plate to stick the tart. And we'll just
Diced orange was added to the sauce.
We're just going to spoon that around the plate. And then for the final thing here, I put just a dab of meringue, untoasted. And I have this little sugar cage that I did. I'm just going to stick that on there. And I have some fresh raspberries. And then an edible flower. And then a couple petals. And one final thing, chocolate curl.